Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la.
Okay, welcome back. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my guest how to get over here. She's very new. She's trying to figure it out. Give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. What's the title of this? New interview. Oh, you're gonna hear echo. New interview. Okay, let me tell her because she's trying to find it. Yes, hit the like up if you haven't yet. New interview. And I'm gonna have to go to the restroom real quick. I was trying to like take a break in between, but y'all know things were popping off. Okay, give me 1 second. No. Okay, y'all. Jen's claiming that it's her daughter coming up. She's demanding to get a link so she could talk to the daughter. And she's on there going through her medical history, including on the son, which is another violation. And she's doing all this for no reason. There's literally no reason to be doing that, Jen. You're being lied to and you're being played. Okay, if you are here, I will drop the link. Y'all, let me pause real quick. Let me go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna drop the link for my guest. So the link you're gonna see in the chat. I'm speaking to my guest. The link you're gonna see in the chat. Dadgummit. It says it's gonna say StreamYard link. Grab that. That is what you're gonna need to come up with. While everybody's here, let me go get y'all. Let me get ready. Just give me a second. You just need to no hell to the no. I'm too young for that. 1 second, y'all. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Had to tell Princess good night. All right. I don't see my guest yet. She is going nuts. Sounds like it. Oh, there she is. Look, I was going to go on camera, but this girl would put me to shame, so I'm not doing that. Okay. Are you ready? Thumbs up. I'll let you finish your hair, and then I'll put you up. She's working on her. 1 second, y'all. So who else going to come forward for testing? What? I took my, hey, Drazo. Hey, Val. Hey, Lormery. Hey, Adam. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Star. Hey, Lee. Patty. Kirsten. Cassandra. Oh, Cassandra, not Cassie. Don't get untwisted. Wendy. Hello, everybody. Welcome up. Welcome. Okay. Are you ready? Thumbs up. Okay.
I wasn't ready at all, but I'm always ready.
Hey, girl. Okay.
Hello, love.
What's up? First off, welcome to YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
She normally goes live on TikTok, y'all, so it's going to be a new experience. We're going to try. Hey, Zeus. Hey, Smoky McBongwater. What's up, buddy? Hey, Steph. Sorry, we just got started. Hey, Violet. All right. So, clearly, this is not what's being said. No, the interview is not with anybody that y'all thought. This is somebody y'all have never met. Nobody to do with YouTube. Also, to be clear, I told y'all days ago I was going to be doing this. I don't know why people got it twisted and thought I was doing an interview with someone else, but they're saying beautiful hair. Welcome. Drazo, behave yourself as well. Okay. Don't worry. We know who you are. Y'all know who she is, but anyways, let's get into it. First off, you want to say was it Shanna Mitchell or Shauna Mitchell?
My name's Shanoa. Shanoa Mitchell.
Shanoa. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Everybody says she's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cassie, I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky subject, honey. All right. So like I said, there's going to be a trigger warning on this. We're going to try to figure out how to go about this the best way. They said they love your tattoos. Her name is Shanoa Mitchell.
Native Strong on Instagram, TikTok. Native_strong.
Native Strong one, right?
Yeah, my TikTok's 123. The new one is, yeah. But Native Strong, just Native Strong is my Native_strong is my Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, so y'all give her a follow over there because she's got all the information that we're going to be talking about tonight. We need y'all's help tonight. Y'all know how we did a petition, and you're not going to know who I'm talking about, but y'all know how we did a petition with the JY situation, and we got all those signatures. Well, we kind of need y'all's help tonight with that as well. There's going to be a few things brought up. One thing's the petition we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, are you still doing that giveaway?
Yep.
Okay, so they're doing a raffle giveaway as well for Indigenous artwork. Okay, so beautiful stuff. She has pictures of it posted as well. And then we're going to talk about a sensitive case, which I still haven't gotten through all the documentation. My son called me earlier, so I kind of got distracted. But I got to page one. This is a whole different one. I got through most of it. I'll say I got through most of it. I got to where he puts his notes about the water bottle. He thinks it's a plant. So that's where I got to on the notes, which it was pretty far down in the mix. So we'll get into that too. So what do you want to? Okay, yes, I'm gonna give you all the background on who she is. Is it your fiance or your boyfriend?
Well, now he's my boyfriend.
Okay,
he wasn't before.
Okay, so he wasn't her boyfriend when this happened. But she's became his girlfriend since then. You're Native American too, really? I didn't know that. Well, then y'all can help us out with this. So her boyfriend, who is Comanche, right?
Yeah, he's a member of the Comanche Nation. Okay,
so he's Comanche. Back in 2013, I think it was January 29th, 2013, a situation happened. And again, y'all put the trigger warnings in the chat so I can post it real quick because this is going to be sensitive topics, but it's important for y'all to understand what's going on, why the petition is happening, what's being said, why there's a lot to unpack here about what happened, what went wrong in this trial, and why he needs a new trial. He was done wrong. The stuff I read blew me away. Like, I was shocked about it. I was shocked that the stuff that they were trying to use against him and how clearly the victims in the case, which I'm going to try to just, I'm not going to use their names. I'm just going to use like the husband, the wife, if you don't mind, just because out of respect for the victims. So I'm going to try to use that. But how they, at the first of it, they said one thing, and then much later they said, oh, no, it was never my nephew. It was your boyfriend. What is your boyfriend's name that he goes by?
His name's Winston Walters Red Elk.
Okay. Winston Walters Red Elk is his name. Likewise. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And it's not feet. Thanks, Star. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to just say the background, or do you want me to read it and then you can go?
Yeah, no, I could fill people in.
Yes, fill people in.
So there was a home invasion style robbery that happened. It took place, like she said, it was January 2013. In this home invasion style robbery, nobody was unalived. No women or children were hurt. A man was shot. So this home invasion style robbery happened or whatever, and the victims identified their nephew with 99.9% certainty because this said person, the way that they talked, the way that they moved, the way they knew their house, they knew how many phones they had, they knew where the secret key was to open up their garage, where they kept the car,
where they kept the weapons too.
Yeah, and the nephew had just got his car repoed by this guy, by his uncle, about 2 weeks before that. And he had been kicked out a month prior from, he lived with their son. So who else would know where their secret key is, right? They found the nephew's evidence at the crime scene. They found his Jimmy kit, his pill bottle on the side of the barn. Anyway, so long story short, they went through as the nephew. They arrested the nephew and another man for this crime. They let him out due to the lack of DNA evidence. And then it was a cold case for a while. About a year after this crime happened, they found this kid harnessing a firearm. And he had just robbed a church. And they got him. They got the firearm. They found out this firearm came from this home invasion that happened a year prior. They're like gonna arrest him or whatever, and he's like, no, it wasn't me. I got this gun, this stolen gun from a robbery, from robbing this kid's house, which is Winston's. Winston had a shared home that he shared with a friend of his. But so he said that he stole it from breaking into Winston's house through a Yorkie doggy door and pushing a loaded washer out of the way, and then getting through the Yorkie doggy door. Anyways, cops take that. They just go with this statement and get themselves a warrant, go over to Winston's house, find nothing. There's no guns, there's no money, there's no drugs. This kid said that they were going to find all that. Winston willingly gave his DNA to get him out of there. And it went downhill from there. They said that they had a DNA that was probability. All evidence in this case,
yes,
sad evidence, is mixture DNA samples with a minimum of 4 people. When contributing to DNA, you cannot prove that somebody's DNA is in there. You just have probability, right? So they had a probability of a 1 and 2, which means between me and her, one of us would have hit.
Yes.
1 in 11. You know, like these hits weren't actually DNA hits, but it's from a small town corruption. They heard DNA analysis and they thought CSI. Then they had a bunch of people that they were trying to build a case on. They were trying to do all these things. They went to Colorado, picked up a guy from jail, brought him back down to Oklahoma, interrogated him. He was on suicide watch. That's in the paperwork too. He was on suicide watch because said he was going to kill himself, that he'd rather die than do a whole bunch of time. And eventually, after so much time at the Rock, which is a really hard place in Oklahoma Penitentiary, they ended up getting this coerced statement out of him. In the beginning of his recorded interview, his video interview, you can see him. He's like, Winston wouldn't do that. He has everything. Winston has everything going on for him. He wouldn't do that. The camera shuts off, comes back on, and he's fist pumping the investigator, and the DA calls his mom. He's like, they're going to help me. Has a different story. So this was a kid. Winston was a first time, never been in trouble. He would be a first time offender, brought into a case at the age of 19 as a teenager, first time offender, sentenced to death by incarceration. They gave him 92 years with no chance of parole for a crime where no women or children were hurt and nobody was unalived. They
Okay.
used him as a scapegoat. Everybody got a deal. Go ahead.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that. Have you ever watched that Netflix special, To Make a Murderer? Have you ever
Uh-uh.
seen it? You should watch it. It would blow your mind. It's where they have proof, and the guy got out. Well, the nephew got out. They have proof where they forced and tortured this kid for days. He was 16 to tattle on his uncle, and he's like, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. And they kept on and kept on. To at the end, he's like, you know what? Fine. Yes, he did it. He did it. And he got arrested. The uncle got arrested, and then years later, after everybody saw what a bullshit ass case it was, he got released. But the uncle's still stuck. But he got released, and it reminds me of the same.
And that is the problem. Coerced statements. You cannot, because they didn't have a case, they tried to build one themselves, build one off of manufacturing this stuff. There is no documented evidence that Winston was ever at the crime scene. There is no evidence placing him at the crime scene. Even with these coerced statements that they made, they didn't add up. One of the people who said that he was the driver, right? He said that he dropped him and somebody else off to do the robbery, and he went driving off, and he called back. He had to go back to pick them up again after said robbery. Yeah, there he is. And when they checked Winston's phone records, there was no calls. His last call was at fucking midnight, and it never connected. So either his phone was off or he wasn't close enough to a tower. They're literally the versions of their story that tried to make it that it was Winston that did it. There's nothing there. They lack jurisdiction to begin with. He's a Comanche member. The state of Oklahoma has been holding him illegally for over 10 years. They don't have the jurisdiction to hold him, but they just don't care. They lack jurisdiction. The judge's father-in-law was brutally murdered in home invasion style robbery a few years before this. And he said this was the worst crime he had ever seen, which is crazy. But the judge in himself was in violation of due process. He withheld this information from the court. It wasn't found out till after the trial. And then the lead investigator was fired from the county able to come over and work this case. Aside from the fact that the victims already knew who their person was, I don't know. It hurts my heart. And I knew him when he was younger. Winston was an up and coming star. He was
he was
a
on
reality TV
show
star. Yeah.
Called Mudcats, y'all. He was on Mudcats, and he also was an assistant to a cameraman for National Geographic when all this happened. So there's not much motive for him. He wasn't out getting in trouble and doing bad things. He had stuff together.
Yeah, he also worked on American Idol season 12, and he just made a movie called Torn from Normal. Torn from Normal never got released because of the allegations. But he's already done 10 years. See, the problem is his appeals were supposed to go through, but the state of Oklahoma does not allow appeals to go through, shut those down so often. Oklahoma leads like the world in the highest incarceration rate. And then on top of that, then the McGirt ruling. So we were like, oh, sit tight. You're going to be out because the McGirt ruling will free him easily. Nope, they're trying to stop McGirt from being retroactive because they don't want the native to have control of their people. Now, this isn't a race card because, as you can see, Winston is not full-blooded. But at the same time, it has to do with Native American stuff because they are not abiding by their own treaties. Oklahoma has no right to him. You know what I mean? Because said crime happened on Indian territory, and he's a member of a sovereign nation. So there's so much corruption in this case that if you just read through it, you're going to see this kid used as a scapegoat for a system to make them profit, thinking that nobody loves him or cares about him enough to help free him.
Which is why you're involved. You're trying to get him freed, and a petition is one of the ways that you're doing it. You're raising awareness on TikTok. Y'all follow her on TikTok. I think you're at almost 20,000 followers, right?
Yeah, that's my new page. I just started it a few weeks ago, about 3-4 weeks ago. It is my new page. Sorry, I got bananas from the other one. It's my 5th one. So cheers to 5.
Maybe it's a good. Well, I mean, you got 20,000. That's not easy to do. So I'm good that you had that platform to do that. So I was curious, what is this thing about the duct tape? Because on the duct tape, and this is one of the reasons that is questionable on the duct tape let me just tell y'all the story of what happened. Like she said, about 1 something in the morning, a woman and a husband were in bed sleeping. and again, trigger warning on this, they woke up because the dog was barking. The husband goes in the living room to see what's going on, and he's confronted with two men, one short and stocky, one tall and slender, which he is tall and slender, but again, pay attention to what I'm going to say after this. One was tall and slender. Now, they were in mask from head to toe, like they were covered from head to toe. One person said that all they could see was eyes. The other one says they could see eyes, mouth, and hands. So it's a little off. Anyways, they were met with a weapon. The husband got injured. Clearly, y'all know what for. And they had the weapons that was in the shop. Okay, so there was this man has a shop in the backyard. Someone knew where the key was for the shop, and he states there's only a few people that know where that key is. One of them is my nephew. Now, the nephew is who they think everybody's thinking did it because, like she said, the nephew was living there, got kicked out. The husband had bought a truck for his nephew, and the nephew wasn't making payments, so the husband repossessed it and said, I'm not giving it to you unless you're not making payments. The nephew asked for it back, and the husband said, only if you give me the payments up front. Well, he couldn't do that. He didn't have the money to do that. So the man repossessed it, and he ended up selling it, and that and one more other vehicle, and he had like $28,000 in the safe. Now, only a few people even knew he had a safe. Only a few people knew about the weapons in the shop. Only a few people knew about the key. One of them being the nephew. Now, did they ever meet Winston before this?
No, they had no idea who he was. He had no idea who they were.
Okay.
He's not familiar with them or their family or nothing.
See, so there'd be no way he would have known this information. The stocky guy, like, he didn't have way of knowing this information. The man got injured in the stomach, okay, and went out the back. So the wife gets up as she comes in there, and they're screaming, where's the effing money? Where's the effing money? So they knew the money was there. They knew that, that man just sold the truck. So the nephew would know that information. Go ahead.
So part of that, it was a little bit mixed up. What had happened was the tall, lanky person walked through the house like he knew exactly where he was going. He went in and grabbed the wife and brought her out. And then he asked her, where's your phone? She gave it, and he said, where's the other one?
Yeah, they asked for the... Okay, they asked for the two cell phones, and they asked for the house phone. And so at first, when they asked for the cell phones, she gave him one cell phone. He's like, nope, there's another one. Give me that one and the house phone. So again, they knew that as well. This lady, her name is Shanoa. Her boyfriend on the screen, he's in jail right now for
prison.
Oh yeah, prison for, is it robbery he got?
He got robbery in the second degree, kidnapping, and assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay. He's in there for that. So they're trying to get him a new trial. There's a lot of proof, and like I'll get into the rest of that. The tall guy went and got the wife, brought her in, and they're screaming again, where's the F money? Where's the F money? At some point, the husband gets injured. He gets shot one more time, and it's in the leg, and the short guy ends up kicking the guy. Was it the short guy kicked him, right? And got
the short guy shot him in the knees and then kicked him, and then he asked the tall guy, do you want me to kill him? And he said, no, leave him.
And the tall guy said, no, don't. And there was another part of that was real sensitive that I won't mention because out of respect for the wife, it's real bad. But they were planning on doing. The short guy asked the tall guy about to do something really bad. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway,
and the tall guy didn't, and I think that's because they're family.
Which seems, I don't know. It seems like this tall guy had some kind of protection over the wife. Honestly, it sounds like he just wanted to get the money and get out there.
The wife and the man, because when he was asked if he wanted, the short one said, do you want me to take care of this? He said no.
Yes. So they kept telling the wife, where's the money? She tried to open the safe. She couldn't. She was shaking too much. So they got the husband to open it. He's like, if you'll leave her alone, I'll open it for you. So he opens it for her, and the short guy's sitting there, and he's just throwing shit out of the safe. But he got the money bag with the $28,000 in there again. They wouldn't just have known all that shit unless they'd been there before. So when they had left, they had tied the wife to a chair and taped her. They used duct tape. That's why the reason I'm mentioning that is on the duct tape is two different types of DNA that none of them belonged to Winston.
Yep. Then the thing is the only thing that they were trying to get Winston with was the DNA mixture profiles, because they don't have DNA of Winston at all. But On the duct tape, the tall person is the one who spent the most time with the wife, and he's the one who duct taped her to the chair. On the duct tape, there was 2 DNAs, and they were clean, pure DNA profiles. One of them was the wife, and one is a mystery.
They don't know who it is. It's a missing male.
And that alone should have taken him out of this crime like it did the nephew, because that's why they took the nephew out of the crime, because of that. So why did they take the nephew out and not take him out as a suspect?
So do you think there's a chance it's not the nephew or Winston?
I have no idea.
Told someone to go do this?
I don't know, because I know that they want you to believe that a 19-year-old kid who has no idea who these people are is a mastermind and just did all this stuff on his own, which is wild to me. I don't know who did it. I know that it seems very convenient. There's a lot of convenience for that, those people and their nephew and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there.
Yeah. How long after this did you meet Winston? Or I mean, like, I know.
No, I knew him before. I knew him before when he came to he came over here to California because he was working on American Idol season 12 when he was like 18, 19. So I've known him a long time, but it wasn't until like all these years have passed. I almost died in jail. You know, I've been wrongfully convicted a few times. Lucky creators looking out for me because I didn't get my life taken away from me, but I did almost, you know, pass away in jail, and all this crazy stuff has happened to me and with me. And so I've been fighting for this injustice stuff for a long time, and I'm a criminal justice student now. And then after talking, helping, and working on his case, I mean, it's just kind of hard not to grow a bond.
And so Winston had never been in trouble before either, though, correct? He
first-time offender. As a first-time offender, they took his whole life away.
Yeah, y'all, he has a 92-year sentence. And he's a first-time offender.
No chance of parole.
Have DNA tie him to the scene. Well, they have this water bottle, which looks like a plant. They did not find it when they first took all the evidence. Am I correct? They found it later on?
Yeah, and it wasn't documented. There's no pictures of it. A couple different people in the agency have different locations where it was. Nobody knows exactly where it was or anything. But even the water bottle isn't a DNA of Winston. It's a probability. There's a 1 in like 230 probability that he was part of the mixture, because it's a minimum of 4 people who had drank out of that bottle.
Selena, don't go anywhere, please. Everything's fine. I don't think there's any issue. I don't know what's going on, but everything's okay. Yes, that's crazy. 92 years. Absolutely. This is crazy, but way too typical. So sorry. Trying to figure out.
It happens a lot, actually. It happens a lot. And to every race, but we see it a lot more with Native Americans.
Yep. I agree with that one. Also,
but every single race is a victim to it.
One of the things that they said that caught my eye is that, like I said at the beginning, as soon as the cops showed up, they immediately told, and I read the document, so this isn't something that just said, it's in the document. They immediately told the cops it was our nephew. We could tell by his voice, and we could tell by the way he moves around, his mannerisms. And then after he was in the hospital, all that stuff, and I don't know how long later, but it was a long time later, they changed their whole story. And they said, oh, I don't remember ever telling you it was him. Oh, I don't remember telling you that was his voice and the way he moved. I don't remember doing that. That's very sus.
Yeah. And they did that for a long time. That's the hard part. They did it for a long time, and they kept changing their stuff to take the pressure off of their own family members. And I mean, I've seen that stuff too. I've seen it where somebody does something stupid, it gets out of hand, and then they get in trouble, but they want to take it back. They don't want them to be in trouble. Like, you know what? That's my brother. I don't want my brother. You know what I mean? I've seen different cases like that where, you know, there's some convenient stuff that happens. My problem is we may not know exactly who did it, but we know who didn't.
Right. They don't have anything tying him to it. They don't have him knowing this family. They don't have anyone be able to place him at the scene. They don't have DNA placing him at the scene.
Well, they have the coerced statements. They do have the coerced statements, but every single buddy who Every single buddy who ended up having some story to tell, they all got deals. So like the kid who robbed the church and had the stolen handgun from robbing Winston's house, he says he got no time at all.
Which that would be enough for someone to be like, oh, I'll say whatever you want me to say.
Yeah, he got the guy who said that he was on suicide watch in jail, and he said Winston would never do this. They took him to court and they estimated his sentence to be a year. It was I forgot what it's called, the one that you go before you actually go to your trials and stuff. After they gave him 100 years, he goes back and then eventually has a different story. But the thing is if the truth don't stray far. The truth is the truth is the truth. Sometimes it comes out a little different because people like to tell stories differently. But when something is so off, like lies are easy to tell because why are the stories changing constantly and why don't they add up? When the wife took the stand and the husband took the stand, their stories weren't even the same.
Someone's asking, does he have an alibi and did they hear the voice? Did they compare Winston's voice to... did they let the victims hear Winston's voice in court or something? And he said that matches or that didn't match? No,
they said that the voice was it was their nephew, and they stuck by that until like 6 months later when the investigator, the one actually who had been fired from the county over for illegal activities, he came up with this different story. But he also said in the newspaper that he wanted to bring the family peace.
What?
Yeah. What's really bad
is that detective that worked the case, that knowing that he has a history of doing wrong, like not following the rules, that should have been enough to get him a new trial, honestly.
Yep. It should have been enough to get him a new trial, knowing that the judge was in violation of due process. You cannot be an honorable judge and be in violation of due process on your own, account. He should have, informed the entire court that his father-in-law had been, unalived in a very similar matter and that he needed to be removed. But he didn't. He took it upon himself to use it as, I don't know, maybe in a way for him, he thought he was getting his father-in-law justice. I don't know. There's also, if you read about the jurors, a lot of those jurors have been robbed, wronged. Huh?
A lot of them have been through crimes, and therefore the trauma could have played a role in...
They've been through robbery crimes and vandalism crimes where nobody was ever arrested. They themselves had no closure for their own traumas that had happened to them regarding robbery and stuff like that. It's so bad. It's so messy, you guys. Everybody has a right to a fair trial, and you are supposed to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It is impossible for anybody to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt that Winston was ever there.
Trying to see what else is on here, because like I said, they literally said it was our nephew. 99% sure it's the nephew. It's just really weird that it totally switched up. Why is it not going to the what court? They asked, did he file the appeal?
He did, and he was denied.
He was denied, y'all.
He filed the appeal regarding the lack of jurisdiction and the judge in violation of due process. He was denied. And then he filed another appeal saying that they lacked the ability to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, that they over-sentenced him by running his sentences concurrently. And there was a few other things that they brought up. They denied it. You guys, the state of Oklahoma, if anybody is familiar, they make the majority of their money off of incarceration. The entire state does. And the United States, being less than 5% of the world's population, but more than 25% of the world's incarceration rate, we lead the entire world in incarceration, and the majority of it comes from Oklahoma.
That is insane. What was Winston's alibi the night it happened? Did he have one?
Winston don't have an alibi. He's like all of us. He's home. Well, he was 19. He didn't have kids.
He said, yeah. So Winston, his grandparents or his grandmother said, didn't they say that he was there or that he lived with them?
Yeah, well, he did stay there. Yeah. And they were like, well, couldn't he have snuck out and shit like that? And it's like, dude, what are you going to do?
Oh, they're just finding a way to make it look like the alibi.
Yeah, his alibi is that he was home doing what everybody does at 2:00 in the morning, sleeping. The said crime happened about 1:50, and they said it only lasted a few minutes, maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. And yeah, so.
There's someone said, have you talked to wrongfully accused justice groups?
No, we're trying to find those. We just started this mission realizing that the McGirt ruling is Oklahoma's really fighting to not give the natives their rights. So Winston has already done 10 years.
Jeez.
He's already lost his entire 20s. And he's been stabbed. He's gone through so much that, like, he'll never get that back, you know what I mean? So we decided, his sister, his grandma, me, let's stop sitting around and waiting for McGirt, and let's free him before something terrible happens or before he loses all his life.
Someone's asking, did his phone ping that he was home? I did read that they said it would be in the vicinity of where he said he was.
Right. His phone didn't ping. He didn't get a call. There was nothing for that. What they tried to do is they tried to look through the cell phone. They had a professional cell phone person to check in to see, because one of the guys said that Winston called him before the crime because he forgot something in the car, and after the crime happened, because you're going to need somebody to pick you up. You make a crime like that, you know what I mean? The cops were there fairly quick. The last call that he had coming in, he had an incoming call around midnight, and it never picked up. They said that either his phone could have been dead or he was too far away from a tower. That's what they were going with. They're like...
Another thing they were saying that these people that testify, these problematic guys, were saying that Winston called and asked him to come get them, but there's no phone calls. There's no phone calls coming to his phone. He didn't make any phone calls either, so that already could have been thrown out as well. Because
so how is this guy saying that he gave them a ride out there, two people
ride out there to do it,
and then they called twice during that time, and there was no phone call? Where's the phone call? How are you gonna pick them up? How are you gonna know that the crime's done? The cops were there super fast. See, my thing too is that the wife, she's what you would call kind of a professional at being robbed, because she had been working at a bank for almost 20 years. So, remembering people's, certain tattoos, features, their voice, the height, she is trained in that. And she not only was able to identify her nephew, but she had a hidden phone. So as soon as they left, she wiggled her way out of the chair and went to the hidden phone and called, and dispatch was there within minutes.
And I did see where she said that she didn't even hear a vehicle or anything after they left. She didn't hear a vehicle. She didn't hear a door shutting, nothing. So it sounds like they left on foot.
And she told them, she told the cops as soon as they got there, check the garage, because she thought that her nephew had stolen his truck back. She said, check the garage.
Which is so here's the thing, y'all. There's really not much motive for it to be Winston, but for the nephew, there's tons of motive, and he had the knowledge to do all the above. I do normally prefer people say Indigenous, but some people saying Native American doesn't bother. It just everybody's preference, y'all. But y'all know I usually try to say Indigenous. It's okay though it's all right, y'all. Y'all calm down in the chat.
I'm Native, so I say whatever,
Yeah, it's just whatever preference, guys. It's all right.
I'm a res girl, born and raised.
Are you in California, or are you?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't even get to go visit him?
Mm-mm. You can't. Anyways, they treat him like shit. He's unable to do most things. They sent him to a max like a year ago for nothing. Literally for nothing. I've been calling. I'm hoping to get a pro bono lawyer, because when I call them and I ask them what happened, they hang up on me.
So they have it out for him, obviously.
They've had it out for him since the very beginning.
Someone's asking, does tribal law play a part in this? Is there anything they could do with tribal law, since he is born and raised and on the res?
We've been trying to. He's a member of the Comanche Nation. We've been trying to get in touch with Forrest and them. They did write. They wrote a whole thing. The whole tribe backs him up. A few tribes in Oklahoma, they wrote this thing backing him up for his appeal, but his appeal was denied.
And how long ago did that appeal go through? Or like, when did he do the appeal?
He tried to do one the first week he went in. That didn't work out. But then he ended up doing one in 2016 and 2018.
Okay. I hope you get a different lawyer, because this is.
We don't have lawyers, but that's the thing. That's
don't-
what they bet on, because Native Americans, like we don't have
the money for it.
And people don't take our tribal attorneys and stuff seriously. Like the courts don't. If this was not an issue, we would have a lot better stuff going on. But even when our people go missing, we have to go look ourselves.
Trying to see where I'm going through the documents. Hold on. So even the woman states, the Mrs. says that the Tolliperts seemed to know that the wife was there and where she was. So they had to have knowledge of where she was. They knew that the husband and wife had cell phones and other info regarding the house layout. They also knew about a key, which again, no one would knew. Jury will hear how the Mrs. sat in the car and told deputies that the taller guy, the way he was hopping around and moving, I think it was my nephew, blank, blank. So immediately after, again, the Mrs. and the Mr. are both saying it was not this guy. Again, how would he know all that information? Yes, the nephew could have told someone, but there would have been DNA at the scene on that duct tape. Why is there a DNA for a male that nobody knows who it is?
Yeah, it's an intense. Oh man, it gives me anxiety a little bit, because it is super intense. Using another one of our people as income to the system instead of proving that he did something. You know what I mean? These people have no idea who Winston is. Winston was brought into their life almost a year later through words of an investigator who's been fired for illegal activity. So he brought him into this case saying, I think it could have been, and, feeding them this other story. And since the beginning of trying to do laws correctly, there's always been coercion within the departments, trying to get people to just say something. Coercion, lack of evidence. Like when they got to Winston's house and they saw that there was nothing there, it should have been over, because he had no idea they had a warrant. He had no idea who they were. He had no idea what they were looking for. Bringing a said water bottle with mixture DNA into a courtroom, which has no documented evidence that it ever existed or where it existed at. The chain of command was broke as well. That shouldn't be allowed in the courtroom. Having a judge who has his own bias and is personally impacted shouldn't be allowed in the courtroom.
That is what we should do, is anytime there's behavioral issues within the team that does these trials, they should reinvestigate these cases.
Yeah, and they were trying to move Winston to his own county, because this was a different county, and they refused to move location. But he was like, I don't know any of these people, and they seemed to, for some reason, want to have it out for me. He was, he was a 19-year-old kid not knowing what he was doing. His attorney at the time said to make sure he had no traffic tickets, nothing to hold him up, because he was going to walk away, because they had nothing.
Someone said he should contact the Innocence Program, write letters to them himself.
He has. We've been waiting. The Innocence Project wrote him back and said that it will take a minimum of 2 years to look into it.
Every day counts in there. Okay.
You never get your life back. You know what I mean? No matter how rich you are or how nice you are or how mean you are or nothing, you can never buy back your time. The time is the most precious thing to humans. And the fact that he's lost so much of it in such a stupid way, that there's so many people in prison losing their lives over this corrupt way of you're guilty until I can prove your innocence. It's, every 1 in every 20 people incarcerated are innocent. And that's been proven, that a minimum of 6% of death row is innocent, but they will still go through with it, knowing that sometimes they're getting rid of the innocent ones.
It's just another way to get rid of Indigenous, honestly.
Yes, it's modern day genocide and modern day slavery as well.
I agree. I just said that yesterday to my son, actually, because we were talking about just how fucked up it is. Real quick, so another thing that's also really weird, y'all, the nephew, the one that now all of a sudden is innocent, before they even released any information about this crime that went on, nobody called the nephew and said, hey, this happened, this happened. The nephew called the police himself and said, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not involved in that crime.
I didn't do it. Yeah, that's
I
crazy
didn't do
too.
it. I just want you to know that.
Nobody knew that they were looking for anybody, that the robbery had happened, or that the nephew was being blamed. The nephew called the lead investigator, agreed to meet up at the police department, and swore his innocence. And they were like, how did you know that they thought it was you?
Right. That's sus as hell. Sus as hell. I mean,
but they leave all this stuff out when they tried to do the trial. They tried to leave all this stuff out. They tried to act like, oh, I didn't say that. No, it wasn't like that. Like, no, okay, if you're going to, take your words back, then at least prove guilt.
It says right here, en route back from the scene, they got a call from the nephew stating he wanted to talk to him to say he had nothing to do with the crime. And then a couple days later, when the man was done with the surgeries and the feeding tube was taken out and he could speak, the wife said that her husband thinks he knows who did it. And then the jury heard how the man says, I know who did this. I recognize the taller one's voice. It was my nephew, Jeremy. I'm 99% sure it was him. The evidence will show that after getting out of the hospital after 1 to 1.5 months, that he then told the deputy, I think it was Jeremy that did this. Sticks to make a tire. Sticks to make a fire. But he kept saying it was. He still said it was the nephew, and then stated that he had co-signed on the truck, like we talked about. That the nephew didn't make payment, so the man repossessed the truck, drove it home, and locked it in the shed. The nephew also knew there was a lot of cash there. He cites the vehicle sold for $22,000 and $3,500. So that's where he got the money from. They said the defendant got $10,000, but not a single person will say they saw him flashing it around. The witness who will say he saw the defendant buying clothes and shoes at the mall. So there's a witness who said they saw him going around and buying all this stuff.
No, that's for Winston. They're trying to say.
Oh, okay, that's.
They're trying to say that they saw him going around buying stuff. He went to the zoo and stuff like that. Do they not take into consideration that he was a reality TV star? He had just made a movie and he was on the up and up to being a star. Like this, he wasn't hurting for money.
There's just no motive. He had things. He was on the up, like she said. The DNA sample from the water bottle was only a few molecules. Results were 1 in 236. Jury will be shown that within 50 miles of the house, as many as 1,000 people could have left that DNA. So that's crazy. That's the only DNA evidence they had.
A mixture DNA profile.
And then it says the cell phone ping on the tower in Comanche wasn't even a call. It was far more consistent with being further away from the tower than close. It was not inconsistent with the defendant sitting in his grandmother's living room.
Yep.
Let's see.
And my biggest thing is this could happen to any of us. It could happen to any of us. It could happen to any of our sons, our husbands, our fathers, our cousins, our favorite uncles, because they don't care anymore to make sure you're guilty. The DA wants to bully you into taking plea deals because they're the gangsters of the state. And then you're at mercy of the modern day, you are guilty.
It's scary to think that if the cops wanted to pin something on you, they know how to do it. They'll get away with it. They know how to plan. Like I said, there's way too many cases. How many times? Well, I've heard a lot of all these men that spent 30, 40, 50 years in jail, and they get out, and then they're just like, oh, we'll give you some money.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Years are bad.
Sorry about that. You never got a chance to have kids or live a life, and you'll have trauma forever, but, our bad.
Lavender says the Major Crimes Act was enacted so Native Americans could be tried and if found guilty, serve time in a state penitentiary or federal facility. I don't know. The Exoneration Project is another one that you can contact. Will you have a new DA anytime soon?
A new DA?
I don't know. Is that what you meant, Val? Like a new person working the case? He's got to get help with that.
Yeah, we need 100,000 signatures. Anybody who's willing to help, I have the legal documentations and stuff like that I sent to Miss on here too. And then, but other than that, we know that 100,000 signatures, the United States government is forced to act. We have over 6K signatures, and anybody who can help, we're open to it. Everybody is overloaded trying to help people because we have a huge amount, a minimum of 2 innocent people are arrested daily. We have a huge amount of injustice in the United States right now, and it's sickening. Everybody should be scared because we lead the entire world in incarceration. We are not the land of the free. We're the land of the locked up. And I know people like to say everybody in jail is innocent. Sad part is there's a lot of them that are innocent, and they go in there and they come out better criminals. But the truth is, people outgrow crime. If I saw a kid, even in Winston's case, if I saw a kid who was 19 years old and he had committed a crime, I still don't believe his life should be taken away. I believe that people outgrow crime. People need help, and we need to be rehabilitated, not condemned. It's not an eye for an eye.
Someone said the district attorneys are elected. Yeah. Oh, so they're asking in the area, because they elect new DAs. Is there a new DA in that area where the case was tried? Do you know if there's going to be a new one anytime soon?
Oh, I have no knowledge on that. I know that the DA wasn't even for the county that he's in. And Winston is a like a local celebrity type stuff. He is from the town Walters, and Winston Walters, his family actually built that town. But that's why they didn't want to move his court over to his own county, because they knew that people knew him and they would, he would have been fine.
Where can I find the link for the petition? Tell everybody where they can find it.
The link for the petition is on my TikTok, which is native_strong123. It's on my TikTok page. It's on my Facebook, pinned to the top. My name is Shanoa Mitchell. I have 3 pages, but you'll see the one where it's pinned. It's on my Instagram, which is native_strong. It's on my link tree. You could find it if you follow me, or even you don't have to follow me. Just look at my stuff. We've also created pages for Winston, and the names are escaping me at the moment. I can't remember the names, but there is a TikTok, Instagram, and a Facebook.
Is there a way to look it up on Google with just the name in it? Because some people don't have the TikTok.
I believe so. Let me get my laptop real quick.
Okay. Exactly. Age is one of the contributing factors to individuals decreasing and ceasing criminal activity. Yeah. Can you ask her? She doesn't live in North Carolina or South Carolina, hun. She's not Cherokee. I think that's what you were trying to get at.
No, I'm Pomo, Wailaki, and we are.
I have never heard that one before.
I was 3 tribes. I'm Pomo, and I'm Wailaki, and I'm We Are. Ill River Bear Clan. That's why I have the bear.
I figured so. Link to what? Instagram? Oh, guest Instagram account. Thank y'all. There's links in the chat for y'all to go to her Instagram. Social media and the media can be a good route. Yeah, she is doing that. She's got an account for him going. She's got her account that's at 20,000 subs right now, which is going to continue to grow, of course, if she doesn't get banned again.
I'd be trying. So
they are sensitive on TikTok.
It is on change.org, you guys.
Okay.
So on change.org, we do have the petition and stuff. I just Googled Winston Walters petition, and it is there at the very top. It says change.org petition, innocent teen sentenced to death by incarceration.
Okay, let's see.
So
all right, there it is.
Did it work for you?
Yep.
Sweet. So yeah, and you guys, I don't know if you're feeling extra godly, you can always donate to the petition, and it helps it get seen more. You don't have to donate though, but just a signature and a share is doing more than most people.
Let me see if it's going to share for me. All right.
And Winston's not the only one. There's a lot of people that I'm coming forward to help. The unfortunate thing is I can only help one person at a time because people just don't have the attention expand to sit through a bunch of different petitions, read through them, sign, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I wish they wouldn't do that, honestly, because a lot of people want to add in, and they do all those, do this one. That's one. Some people don't do it because of that, which they should.
Exactly. That's why I'm one at a time. I already have a kid lined up that I want to do next. There was also a woman in Oklahoma who stole 2 purses and got life for stealing 2 purses. Yeah. It's a serious problem, you know what I mean? It is a serious problem. If you're not familiar with this type of problem, consider yourself blessed, but I guarantee you will not live your whole life without being affected by it.
So y'all go and follow that. The raffle. So she also got a raffle again to give away some of his artwork. So Winston's doing artwork while he's to buy time. And she's doing raffles for that, right? Do you want to explain exactly what you're doing with his artwork?
Yes. Well, there's multiple things. Winston's been donating his art to a nonprofit organization called Ignite Justice to help the kids. So they're doing an art auction for prison art, and 100% of proceeds are going to kids who are affected by ones being incarcerated, like their loved ones. And Winston has been, working on his art and donating a bunch of it to help the kids. Because honestly, this is one of the best people you're ever going to meet. I promise. It's not just because I love him. You'll love him too. But now, to help with his petition, we have custom art pieces that we are donating. $5 a raffle ticket. 100% of proceeds are going to this wrongful conviction case. 100% of proceeds are going to help him. So far, we've sold enough raffle tickets to get over 1,000 signatures.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty awesome. There's multiple prizes for this. We're doing the drawing on April 14th.
Okay.
But 100% proceeds do go to this case. You can win a custom art piece from Winston himself. There's also an autograph poster of me, but you probably don't know who I am. Probably don't want to look at me. I don't know. But there's also, if you're in Northern California or South Carolina, my tattoo artist who does all my amazing work, he's donating up to 4 hours of his very expensive time because he believes in the cause as well. We have some social media influencers who would like to donate stuff as well, but we're waiting to see how many tickets we sell so that we can make it,
Do you have a Cash App that you could drop and some people could donate to it?
Yeah, my Cash App is my name, SHANOAMITCHELL, Shanoa Mitchell.
Oh, wait, SHAONA.
SHANOA.
SHANOA. What's the rest?
Mitchell, MITCHELL.
Okay, that's all? You don't have a number or anything added to it?
Just one word, Shanoa Mitchell.
Okay, did I do it right? Is that the right one on the screen?
I can't see it.
It's small. I think it's the right one.
If it's SHANO, yeah, I think that is it.
Okay.
Can't see that.
So if y'all want to donate to the cause, either to get raffle tickets or just to help out so they can get their petition and get more signatures, please donate to her Cash App. That'd be the easiest way. Do you have a PayPal or anything? Because we have people from a lot of different countries.
I do have PayPal, and it's Shanoa Mitchell.
Okay, so same thing, y'all. PayPal, Shanoa Mitchell. Shanoa is gorgeous. I'm signing the petition. I will share it. Is there a TikTok video I can stitch or duet? Oh, she shares TikToks all the time. What is his Instagram? That's where I found you from. What's his Instagram at? Is it Red Elk?
Not
Instagram. Sorry, TikTok.
TikTok. I will go to it right now. Let me, because I was trying to remember the name, and because
I know that's what I do. Every time she posts a video, I make sure I just repost.
That's what I do too. So it is Freedom for Red Elk. Freedom for Red Elk. We have different videos and stuff that you guys can see more facts about his case and stuff like that. We tried to do it a little bit at a time so that people don't feel overwhelmed. But it is Freedom for Red Elk. Winston Walters Red Elk.
It's under Freedom for Red Elk, right?
Yes.
Okay. So y'all could go there too, those that have TikTok. Her Instagram, again, she has shared her Instagram, Shanoa Mitchell. No, hers is Native Strong One.
Native_strong 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Yeah, I had to change it because my agency, I just got accepted into an agency on TikTok, and they was like, you have to change it because I had backup in my name. So it sucks.
What kind of agency? Just like modeling or something?
No, it's actually my own agency for exposure on social media, because I'm a social media influencer. So that way, TikTok can't ban me and can't do all this stuff because now I have an agency who works through TikTok for me.
Oh, Lexi, it's Mitchell. Did I put it the wrong way?
It is Mitchell, Mitchell.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Mitchell. Hold on. Where is it? It's right here. Sorry about that. Y'all behave about the bushes.
Huh?
Nothing. When people are watching but not commenting, we call it the bushes on YouTube.
The bushes.
Funny comments. What's crazy is when it's stuff that matters like this, don't get that much views. But when I do stuff about the drama in our community, 200, 300 people watch. It's a shame. It's so crappy that they do that.
I have the same problem on all my social media platforms. I could take a picture with myself. It's going to get like, 3,000-4,000 likes. If I take a picture of my kid, it gets like a couple hundred.
That's insane. I don't know why people do that so much. Hey, Scrawlin. Thank you. Seal Moon, need to clarify spelling on link you posted. Which one? For CashApp, PayPal, or you talk about the petition? The petition, I just shared the link directly to it. Or if you can't find it through that way, go to Google, type in, was it Winston Walters petition, and it'll pop up. It pops right up.
Yep, on change.org.
Hey, Sly, what's up, girl? Girl, you were doxxed like really bad by Jen a minute ago. Sorry. There's a girl that I cover. Her boyfriend was on Love After Lockup. I've been friends on and off with them for years, and she's just really abusive. Anyways, she's been doxing like crazy all day. Okay, the petition link isn't working, they're saying. Okay, yeah, just go to, like I said, go to Google, just type in Winston Walters petition, and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Okay, guys? And then if you have any questions about any other links that y'all need, whether it's to donate, whether it's to Instagram, like any of that, make sure you ask. We'll get you to the right spot. But if you just need to know anything about the case, if you have a lawyer, we usually have lawyers that come in here too. If you have any lawyer friends or anything that who she could write to get help, any ideas, message, let me know, and I will, forward the information. Okay, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the case?
Not really. I just hope that this stops happening.
I'm just so sad that he's never offended. I would understand if he offended and like he had this long history, but for a first time, and he was 19 and he had all this stuff going. He was on TV and all that. And then knowing there's proof upon proof upon proof upon proof, nothing's tied to him. And then everybody started changing up their stories later on.
Yeah. It's just sad. It's really sad too, because, he didn't have a dad and his mom died when he was like 12.
Oh no, that's
and
worse.
He was raised, I know, and he was raised by his grandma and stuff. It makes me feel super protective over him. I feel very protective over him because I know that they thought that he had nobody who would fight for him. And he's worth a lot of money incarcerated. He makes the United States billions of dollars off of his life.
Someone said, what's about CashApp spelling? Yes, it's Shanoa Mitchell. The $sign Shanoa Mitchell. You have to do the $sign, y'all. Sorry, everybody's trying to send you something on CashApp. Also, there seems to be no motive for him, but for the nephew has all the motive. Absolutely. And again, someone knew the information while they were in there. They knew exactly where to go. They knew where the safe was. They knew where the weapons were. If this was her boyfriend, he would have known to just go in the shop. You had to have the key to get in the shop. So there was no forced entry to get in the shop, and they knew the weapons were in there, and then they made the way to the house. And again, the mannerisms, the voice didn't match. Her boyfriend, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand how you didn't get another trial on this one. There's a lot of cases where you could see obviously that's them, but not this one.
Even the man of the house who was injured, he said that his safe stands at exactly 5 foot, and that the short perp was the same height as his safe and the other one a head taller. The two men that they arrested for this, one got 70 years, and he took back when he found out that they took back his deal and he was going to get 70 years, he refused. He did not testify at trial or nothing. He refused. He said, I wouldn't have said what I said if I knew you guys were going to take the deal back. So he got 70 years, and he's like 5'9", and then the other one was a head taller as the 5-foot person, and then Winston is 6'1". So
Okay, he's way taller. Someone says, do you think this was racially motivated or just a corrupt prison system? Both.
probably a little bit of both. More so corrupt prison system, because we often see that sometimes when we have bad detectives, bad DAs, or bad judges, they will do anything to bring a family peace if it feels like they themselves have been personally affected by a case.
I'm going to send
because they didn't get peace. You know what I mean? So in the way they lived through it.
And Valerie knows she hasn't been able to visit him. They are not letting him talk to anybody, visit, nothing. Anytime she calls up there, they hang up on her.
We've tried to have private investigators go see him. You can't even find him. If you try to look on JPay and stuff, he's not there. He doesn't exist. He never has.
That's crazy. They won't even let you write him.
I mean, I get through to him because I'm me. Like I write and I get through to him no matter where he goes. But I blow that the whole state up. I call everybody. I'm like, because I get scared. I don't want them to hurt him.
They said it's a civil rights violation.
Yes, all his amendment rights were violated. He didn't even have, as a 19-year-old kid with no knowledge of anything, knowing that he didn't do anything, the judge said that he was cold and callous, and he said, how did you want me to be when I know I didn't do it? I'm supposed to be remorseful for something I didn't do, you know what I mean? But his own attorney, the way that he was going to win the case was showing that they had no evidence, and his attorney didn't let him take the stand. It's one of his greatest regrets. He wishes all the time. He talks about it all the time. So he didn't take the stand because he listened to his attorney. But he had his 6th Amendment right, his 14th Amendment right. There's so many different freaking rights and stuff, violations. I've been, a few months ago, he went like 14 days without a shower because they think that they don't have to bathe them. He doesn't see the sun and all this crazy stuff. It's tragic.
They're saying guys, he doesn't have a JPay. They took everything from him.
You won't find him on JPay. Nobody can. And I have private investigators who have tried. To get a visitation with them. You can't. It's crazy. They always have an excuse. And when you call and you ask them just the logistics, they hang up on you. I called this lady and I asked her what day his packet was signed because he's supposed to be moved. And she was like, I can only see what's in front of me. I said, okay, yeah, but what day does it say? She said, man, no need to get nasty with me. I was like, I'm not getting nasty. I'm sorry. What day do you have that is right in front of you that you said? Click. Because she don't have it in front of her. She's lying.
She's just trying to get you to stop calling or something. What state? It's Oklahoma. Someone said all of its rights have been violated. He needs a higher court to look into this. Yeah.
The only way to do that is to get 100,000 signatures on this petition.
So that's why we did this, y'all, because they need signatures big time. If you could get to 100, well, I don't know, we can't just do it, but y'all can help us. If we get to 100,000, if she could get to 100,000, I mean, would that get on a new trial? That's a lawyer. What's the goal with the petition?
So they said that 100,000 signatures, the United States government is forced to do something. Now, depending on what that something is, honestly, a new trial, sure, that would be amazing. But the truth is if anybody looks at this, they're going to set him free because he did 10 years for a crime that he didn't commit.
Which, no one lost their life. And again, it's horrible what that family went through. Absolutely. Some justice needs to be served for that. Absolutely. But you can't tell me, I've been through a violent crime myself and I lost my friend that got murdered by a person that hurt me. Anyways, I knew immediately what happened to me. I knew exactly who did it. I knew I knew exactly what happened. I just don't understand how at the beginning they both said, absolutely, it's the nephew in every way. The voice matches, everything matches. even at the hospital when the feeding tube came out, he again reiterated it was my nephew. But then when he finally got, I forgot how long later was it that the victims changed the story, which on
About
the
a
stand,
year.
the woman still said it was possibly the nephew, didn't she?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I know that they were saying that. So was the husband was saying that for even 6 months out. But about a year later, these guys were brought into the case because they had that kid had been caught with that stolen handgun. Um, the thing is we all know and I study law, and I've done many a lot of years so far. Your memory is the best in the beginning.
Yep.
It doesn't play tricks on you. You don't have to worry about, you know what I mean? As time goes by, then it
gets
can
cloudy.
be morphed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your best memories of everything is in the very beginning. So you get the very beginning, and these people, like, they're on their shit, and they know, they saw it, they seen it, they smelt it, you know what I mean? And then later on, you change it up like almost a year later.
Someone said, what caused the change in story? Caused the change in story. We don't know for the husband and wife. Not sure what changed story for the husband and wife. But for the other people involved, they were going to get a plea. They were going to get a deal where they didn't have to spend 100 years like that. They scared them with the 100 years, and all of a sudden, he's pinning it on Winston.
Yeah, so the only reason why anybody else was brought in is because the kid had robbed a church and got caught with a handgun from this robbery that came from that safe. And when this kid got caught with that handgun, he was like, it's not mine. I got it from robbing Winston's house, which he shared with a roommate. And they got a warrant. And that's how like about a year later, it all started to turn different, because a kid robbing a place had a robbery gun, said he got it from robbing.
That's crazy. So insane. Like, they're giving these people motives to pin it. And again,
he did 2 years in rehab because he got no time. He did all those robberies and got no time.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Then they straight up used him.
That's what I mean. He's clearly a scapegoat. He's clearly the one who's supposed to be the scapegoat to make the family feel safe again. We got him. The bad guy's away. You know what I mean? Like, you're safe now. We did our job. Justice wins.
I'm trying to find in the document why they changed their story.
Oh, you won't find that. I won't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I tried to do that too. The only thing that they said is that they ruled out the nephew due to lack of DNA. But what about Winston?
And they said that they kept yelling, where's the effing money? And for the wife and the husband to both say it was a nephew, I'm still in my mind, I'm just still shocked about this.
It's the husband's nephew, though, not the wife's. I mean, they are married, but it's the husband's blood. And my thing too, like, they said that they ruled the nephew out because when they tested the water bottle, he was not a contributor. But they don't know who was a contributor. They just know probability. It's possible that this person could have contributed, but there's multiple DNA mixtures. But they were saying that the nephew was not a contributor to this mystery water bottle where nobody knows where it came from or how it got there or nothing. You have the nephew's Jimmy kit and pill bottle at the scene next to the freaking barn, but you're ruling him out over a mystery water bottle that has mixture DNA profile. It makes no sense.
Someone said Peter Santinello has 1.5 million subs. Have you talked with him for awareness purposes?
I have no idea who that is.
Me neither. Bad karma for them, if I'm understanding correctly. Well, yes. The justice system here is messed up. Nothing makes sense anymore. Apparently, I can't figure it out. So this person, Huckleberry, is Indigenous as well. And they said no matter what, he can't find a social security number, nothing. So he said he definitely believes about how y'all are trying to find Winston and y'all can't find any of his stuff. That's usually when they repetitively do their questioning, is right after the crime. Like I said, right after what happened to me, I knew exactly what happened, who did it, obviously, what exactly, wherefore, what he said, all that. But as time went on and the trauma started sitting in, I couldn't remember things.
Exactly. Time plays tricks on the memory of trauma, but that's for you to survive. You know, your brain was like, we need to survive this. This is what we're going to do to do it.
Close it out for you so you can handle it better.
Exactly. But that's why it is so important when a crime happens to get that interview with the victims right away, as fast as you can. And we all know that. Anybody who works in law knows that you need to get
the
that.
First 48, they try to get all those interviews done.
Yeah, you got to get them in when they're fresh in the brain. And these people, not only were they fresh in the brain, it lasted forever.
Someone's saying, did the DNA or the fingerprints come up in CODA, which is for the fingerprint database? Was there any fingerprints that came back to Winston?
There was nothing at the crime scene that came back to Winston. Now, what they did find later on, this is a long crime if we're going to talk about it. So aside from that, kid did that, and then they went to Winston's house with the warrant. They searched it, nothing was there. Winston willingly gave his DNA. Later on, through the coercion of different people, all these different stories, there was Winston's roommate, the one that he shared the house with. He took them to his mom's property where he had buried guns. These guns came from that robbery. So he did take them there where he had buried the guns. They said on a plastic bag that they found a partial print of Winston's on a bag. So as his lawyer had said, the best thing that you could ever say is that Winston was in contact with the bag.
What?
But it still didn't work out. It still didn't work out in his favor because there was I want to say their names, but I can't. So,
well, no, you. Well, I mean, the victim, not the victims. The victim's the only one I'm protecting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so a roommate that Winston had, he had like taken the cops after so much amount of time accepting a deal or whatever to his mom's house. And if you went to his mom's house, you go over by the side of the house or something, a little bit in the woods, he had showed them where he buried guns, and in the guns were wrapped in a t-shirt and in a bag.
Jeez.
And they said Winston said, that's my t-shirt. Winston said, that's my David Matthews Band t-shirt. That is my t-shirt. I don't know about that shit, but that's my t-shirt. But
So do you think that was planted?
No, I don't know who was associated with the crime. Like, I don't know who did it. I just know clearly who did it.
T-shirt being around it, do you think, like, how do you explain the t-shirt being around the weapons? Or do you not know?
No, I don't know. And I don't know about Winston's roommate either.
Oh, so he had the roommate that could have done something.
Right. Like if my kids took my stuff and went and committed a crime right now. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So Winston knew the guy for a few months. They were supposed to start a reality TV show together called like Rednecks and Aliens or something like that. So they knew each other for a few months, and they were going to work on a TV show together. They were roommating, but I have no idea. I don't know if it was the nephew and that guy, if it was, because there was multiple people.
I really feel bad for the victims in this, honestly. Also, the short, stocky guy. Did they get the right guy in that situation? Do you know?
No, I don't think so. They said that he was 5 foot, and the guy that they arrested was 5'9".
Okay.
They had a big safe. It's exactly 5 foot up, and the man said that the short perp stood the same height as the safe.
Yes, it does say that in the paperwork, that he was either right to it or right above it.
Right there, yeah, and that the tall one was about a head taller. So even in that, so like I don't.
Did this happen on the reservation?
No, it happened on Indian territory. It happened, yeah. He's from the reservation, but this happened on Indian territory in Oklahoma.
So the husband, after, says he was in the ICU for 5-6 days. He doesn't see, this is where it gets weird, y'all, or where it gets bad. So he was in the ICU 5 to 6 days. He doesn't remember talking to law enforcement at the hospital, but he said, I never told them that he recognized one of the perps' voices as his nephew's. If he did say the nephew's name, it was because he repossessed the pickup 2 to 3 weeks pre-incident, and he told the nephew to leave his belongings in it and that he'd unload them at the house for later pickup. They include a bottle of pills with his name on it. Again, that's where the bottle of pills comes in as evidence. There's no explanation why it wasn't in the truck, why it was even at the scene. He put all the belongings in the shop in an ice chest on top of the freezer, close to the rifle. Once out of the hospital, he felt he was able to be interviewed. He talked to law enforcement officers regarding the nephew, and he confirmed the belongings they found were his, and he said he didn't think the nephew did it. Again, very weird that he says that. The thoughts were a lot clearer at this point, says the man. He says he did not recognize the voice on the date of the incident as being his nephew. Again, it changed. Then he went to the DA's office and told him he didn't think the nephew did it. He believes they released him the next day. He saw his portable house phone in one of the ponds while riding on the four-wheeler. Trying to see what else is on here.
Yeah, because see, you're reading the trial transcript. So what they're saying is at trial, he was trying to say at trial, I didn't say that. But he did. He was already documented for saying it, but you're reading the trial transcript where it's telling you at trial, he tried to say that he didn't say that, even though he did.
Okay, so he kept the story. It was the nephew all that time till on the stand. Then he said, I didn't say that.
Yeah, tell a few months before when they brought all these other people into it. Yep. And then he changed his story. But that's the thing. When you're dealing, you believe in law enforcement, you believe in the justice system, and you believe in right and wrong, you think that they're going to do what's right and wrong. But from the sounds of it and how they answered their questions, because a lot of stuff they didn't remember, and those were stuff that would have gotten them in trouble themselves. They didn't remember because they were coached on how to respond to certain things and what to say. And they were fed, I believe that they were fed a story, and they themselves believed it.
So here's a list of the people that knew were the key. So again, the guy says the perps apparently got in the shop first to get the weapons. Again, had to be someone that knew. He said it was ransacked. He said he saw the shorter guy with his rifle. He said very few people knew where he kept the shop key. Pastor blank, his wife, his daughter. He doesn't know if a guy named Jeff, who is a friend of the son and the nephew, he doesn't know if the friend knew. He doesn't recall telling anyone that this guy was a friend of the nephew. He doesn't remember telling detective the key was hidden because lots of people knew where it is. See, that's two different things.
I'm telling you, their stories don't add up. None of their stories add up. When you go through the trial stuff, none of their stories add up. And all of a sudden, they couldn't remember.
And then he says he doesn't even recall talking to the detective. So this is not good at all.
It was a shitty trial, and anybody there was pissed off because there was no way that they could have gotten this kid in trouble. It made no sense. You could clearly see that they had been fed some kind of story, probably by investigators.
And I see all of Winston's notes on all of it. Like, he's got it all figured out. Like, he's got answers for everything on here about why it doesn't make sense. Says they knew the nephew was in jail being charged, but not that it was because of something he had said. He hasn't seen any documents in the case against the nephew. Felt it was necessary to tell law enforcement he didn't think he was the one who did it. Again, why the sudden change? He was staying friends with at the time. He was staying with friends at the time. Okay, the nephew was staying friends at the time, so the wife could have helped in caring for him. He also said he didn't feel safe in his own home. He was there when the deputy was there when the phones were found. He doesn't remember if he talked to them. See, it's all.
He doesn't remember. No, I know. This man clearly told them everything that had happened to him after the crime happened. Him and his wife, they explained everything that had happened clearly as they could. And that continued on for a long time until almost a year later. And then they were fed this whole other story, and they can't remember because it's not part of their memory. It didn't happen that way, but they were told that it happened that way.
Sly, we have a friend in the chat named Sly. She says she's going to, do you give me permission to share the documents with people that try to help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, read through it. Yes, absolutely.
Said, I wonder if he was profiled because he had no parents to fight for him and they knew he couldn't hire good representation. It sounds like it to me. It sounds like they knew he stood no chance. It's really sad. Up, man. Did the tribal council get involved? The tribal council tried to get involved, from my understanding.
Yeah, they did. So they did try to get involved, and he had multiple tribes from Oklahoma backing him up and standing with him, but it did nothing because the state of Oklahoma is not trying to abide by their own laws that were set in place, our own treaties. Let me see. Forest is the. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Forest.
Just so y'all know, this is who we're talking about, okay?
Yep, that's Winston.
He was a kid pretty much when he was pinned for this. He was 19, and they gave him 92 years. No one lost their life. There's no evidence tying him to the scene that, like, verbatim, like evidence. It was chance. There's a chance it could be him. And even in the court transcripts, it say 1,000 people in that area could have given that profile. 1,000 people. They said he has a Johnny Depp face and beautiful hair. Yes,
he is very pretty. He is very pretty, that's for sure.
He is.
So let's see. But you know what? They do say that if you're good looking, and this is just what those statistics said, you're either going to have an easy life or a hard one.
Sly, he's been on TV. He was on TV called Mudcats. He was on. He helped with American Idol. He helped cameramen for National Geographic. He didn't have a motive to do this. He didn't have the knowledge to do this. There's nothing tied him to the scene, and his phone pings that he was at could have been home. And they said the phone ping for his cell phone consists with him saying he was at his grandparents in the living room, just like he said.
So the tribal attorney said that they drafted an amicus brief that was filed to support his appeal, but he lost his appeal. So now his tribal attorney said that he needs a pardon or a commutation from the governor, which sucks because the governor of Oklahoma is stiff.
So that's not helping y'all. They're needing that. They say they're both beautiful. He's been in jail 10 years, y'all. 10 years he's already lost. And 92 years, and I heard her say this on TikTok, that's a death sentence. They might as well give him life for that.
That's what I mean. And, we see so many people who do heinous crimes. There was that man recently in Oklahoma. He unalived that lady. He took her heart. He took it over to his family's house, cooked it, and tried to feed it to them, and then managed to kill his family as well. And he just got 3 life sentences. So he got the same amount as Winston. They're both doing life.
That is great. The guy that did stuff to me and my friend, he got life sentence, but he's eligible for parole. Like he caved my friend, me. He's eligible for parole in 2038. Is Winston not eligible at all?
No parole.
That is insane. That is not right. That is not right.
That's what I mean. No possibility of parole.
Wow. And she can't talk to him. Again, y'all, all his rights are being violated. All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one died, y'all. Both of them are alive. And again, there's just so much proof about why he needs a retrial, right? Why this is botched. Every victim statement, there's either a reason that they switch their story. They have motive to either to testify against Winston, or it's all they're changing their story up. So there's just way too much involved in this. Tell them to start backwards. I know that's weird, but it's what I'm getting. They need someone to start fresh and follow along, because
people tell him, like, go to the law library and do this and that. You don't understand. Winston doesn't have the ability. They won't let him out of a cell. He's a very powerful force. Like, if you're around Winston, he is an amazing person. And I'm not just saying that because I love him. He really is. You will love him as well. He fights for our people, and he works really hard. He makes belts and, suitcases and moccasins and stuff like that. But, like, because he's such a powerful force in prison, they put him in the back of a regular car, drove him across Oklahoma to put him into a max for no reason, because they literally can't stand him. I was on the phone with him one time when this guard said, "You think that you're better than me?" He's like, "No, sir." And he's like, "But you act like you're better than me." And he's like, "That's because you think I'm better than you." And I'm like, they're like, you have guards that are jealous of this man. Is it because he looks good? I don't know. But he is super calm, cool, and collected, and like very talented. He's a tattoo artist and an artist in general. leather craftsman, but he doesn't have access to get out. For the past like 3-4 years, they've been violating his religious rights. He hasn't been able to pray since 2019. They think that they could do this because nobody punishes them for it.
All these violations. I hope y'all are documenting all of it.
And being moved over and over again. Every time he starts college, they pick him up and they move him. This poor kid has been in there 10 years and has been to every single prison pretty much in the state of Oklahoma. Just every time he gets comfortable, they uproot him. They've been trying to break his spirit for a very, very long time. And he doesn't have access to a law library because right now he's in a cell 23 hours out of 24. When he's out, he's in a cage. Because why? Not because he's violent. He doesn't even have the points to be in a maximum security. His points aren't high enough because they can't stand him and they want to break him.
So someone has a serious question, and she did explain it, Star, but I'll read it again. An article I pulled up says that the police did a substance bust at Winston and Oxford's home and found one of the stolen guns. Then one of the guys brought the police to where the weapon was buried that the homeowner was shot with. Yes, she did explain that.
Yeah, no, when they checked his house, they didn't find anything there. They even went after the news people for their false statement because the lead investigator, Chad Powell, he went in there thinking he was going to find all that stuff because that one kid told him that he would. They found nothing. So then they tried to say it was a drug bust. It wasn't a drug bust. They went after his name, and that's the first time they tried to go after them for, I'm sorry, what's that called when they, like when they say false stuff about you, about your name?
Surgery?
Like against his name or whatever?
Oh, slander.
Yeah. Slander on his name, yes. So yeah, when they searched, they didn't find anything on when they went there with that warrant, and it wasn't a drug bust. They tried to say it was a drug bust. There was no drugs there. I think they said they had some like weed on the table, but nobody took it because it wasn't a drug bust.
And by the way, smoking green is part of his culture, so it's not exactly like it's not. Anyways, it's just part of the culture. That's something that's been going on for centuries, y'all. So
well, that and if if you share a house with somebody and stuff like that, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I do that. I've lived with so many people throughout my youth.
Court transcript. She sent me the court transcripts with all of Winston's notes on it. He's got notes on all of it about that's not what was said. This is not right. He has notes on all of it, and she's given me permission so I can share it to y'all in an email if you need. How many signatures do you have so far? She said 6,000.
6,357.
Okay, and she needs 100,000, y'all. That's a long way, but I'll probably I'll keep bringing it up in my live streams and dropping those because we have someone in our community that we try to get banned from YouTube because he's just a monster, and a lot of signatures got put on that. So if we could get more people involved in it, other channels, Sly, I can go to you and you can mention on your channel. Any other content creators? We have another girl in here named Amzi. Well, she's covering something right now, but I'll give it to her. She has a true crime channel, and I'll just pass it around to anybody that needs it. We'll try to get more attention on this, but the main thing, y'all can donate to the cause. Again, her Cash App is Shanoa Mitchell. She has a PayPal, Shanoa Mitchell, and then the petition, y'all go look it up again, Winston Walters at change.org. Email it to me. I'll have it looked into for real. I'm still trying to get through the rest of it myself. Even if it's a drug bust, 90+ years isn't right. It's absolutely.
Yeah, nothing on it makes sense. If he was even guilty and there was proof that he was guilty, taking his life away for something like this is disgusting.
Someone said, so I may have missed this, but why was one of the stolen weapons found in his home? It wasn't found in his home.
No, they said that there were John Oxford. I don't know.
That's okay.
I'd have to look through it.
He's not a victim,
he took them to his mother's home, where because the said stolen weapon that was found in the home is because that kid said that he robbed the house and found it there.
Amzi's here. She said, I will share her TikToks too. And I know a creator with 30,000 platform that might pick this up or share it at the very least. And then Autumn says she knows a girl in the drama true crime community that covers Indigenous. I'll tell her about. Yeah, y'all please share it with any other creators that y'all think might pick that up. I would ask Sherelle. She's got 500,000 subs here on YouTube, but she more just, well, he's part of TV. So maybe I could get her to pick it up too, because He was reality TV. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll
Yeah.
ask her because she's been on my channel a few times and we get along pretty well. So I'll send it to her and see what I can do. Michelle says she shared it on the Twitter. Did Oxford ever live with Winston? Yes. Right?
Yes. Yep. That was his roommate.
So yes, maybe look, he had a roommate situation the whole time. And that could explain why there was a shirt. His shirt was there, but he flat out said, "That's my shirt. I don't know why it's here, but that's my shirt."
Yeah, he did say that.
You'll ask LB. LB is someone. Have you ever heard of Leslie Bass? She's a YouTuber as well. She's got a pretty good channel. Yeah, y'all ask whoever y'all think can get into this. Did they have the weapon then in evidence when he was charged, or was it not found? They had the weapons.
They had the weapon from the kid who robbed the church.
The other place. So again, someone with the motive to tattle and pin something on Winston so he could get a plea deal, and he did.
Yeah. They all did.
Every bit of this is botched, and like I said, there's motivation, or they're going back on what they said previously just to try to pin it on Winston. They just went with the kid saying he robbed it from the place.
They got themselves a warrant off of that, off the statement.
That's all they needed. That's all they needed. Unfortunately, like I said, you should really watch the Netflix show To Make a Murderer. There's 1 and 2, because it's very eye-opening how they have proof that they were planning stuff, how they tortured pretty much this teenager till he gave in and admitted, and there's people going crazy trying to get both guys out. So it shows though how if the cop wants to pin something on you, they have ways to do it. They have ways to get the evidence, the DNA, all that. They know exactly what to do.
I know. It's
with the lawyer,
scary.
It's very scary. Like I said, it could happen to anybody. The reason I got so attached to the case because every time I see him, I think that could be my son. You know, my son's 19, so I worry about that. And like I said, to target Indigenous is it's something they do all the time, though. He was on the spectrum that was awful. Oh yeah, the guy on the To Make a Murderer. Yeah, they took advantage of that young kid. So it's not out of realm possibility. Like I said, y'all, there's people that are locked up every day. Someone's locked up for shit they didn't do, and the government's always so slow to fix it when it happens as well.
Because they make over $74 billion a year off of their incarceration, and we, the taxpayers, pay for them to keep them there. It's just a huge industry of money, of income for the government.
I agree.
So that's why Native Americans cost more. If you got Native Americans and you have them in a...
so you do get more for that. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Someone said Kim Kardashian of all people helps with types of cases. Everyone should share this and tag her on Twitter. Like I said, I'll send the links to anybody who needs it. She gave me permission. And if you need to see more of the case, she also does TikTok lives. Shanoa does. She does TikTok lives where she will answer any questions someone has. She'll give out any information that's needed. She's doing her best to get it all out there, y'all. So
yeah. I thought this would be so much faster and easier because he's clearly, innocent. But I have people who aren't innocent. I have people who were very, very young when they did something crazy and they had their life taken away. And I want to help as many people as I can. And some of these people, were under the influence of something when they committed a crime and they got life. They did commit crimes and some people didn't. So it's like, I thought it would be so much easier to get 100,000 signatures than it's been. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to keep going. I want to keep, bringing awareness to these cases.
I'm glad that he has you to do something about it because I can't imagine how he'd feel if he didn't.
Yeah, I know.
That's really sad that it pisses me off. Yeah, so Star said about the article, like I said, y'all know with my situation, I know they lied in an article about me, so...
They always lie in articles. I tried to sue for one of my articles when I got arrested too. If you go to Google and you're a Google warrior and you think you're going to find the truth there, that is not what you're going to find. You're going to find entertainment.
Mm-hmm. They did that shit to me as well. But the court transcripts, I do have, Star, and I can send them if you want to see what's going on. Like I said, I was reading it on and off all day, and it's insane if you read it all. Like I said, you could see everything she's saying happen. It's in the transcripts. But okay, well, thank you for coming up. Also, check your Cash App. I sent what I could for the moment. I can send more next month.
Thank you.
Hold on, let me see. I think I got her something else. Oh, sorry, it was my son. I sometimes I get a text that says Cash App, but it was my son messaging me.
Oh.
Would it make the cops look real good for them to print? They took the word from a robber. They took the word from a lot of criminals in this case, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for coming up. And again, I'll just keep sharing it every time I go live that there's a petition that we need help with.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
And I appreciate it. Honestly, I appreciate anything. I love finding people who fight for a great cause.
Well, I appreciate that you're bringing awareness. And if I get any headway, if there's anybody that gets headway on it, I'll make sure to connect you together so y'all can get something done about this. Because again, there's a lot of lawyers in this community.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, you have a
All
good
right.
night.
I hope you have a good night too. Thank
All right.
you. I'll see you
Bye.
later.
Okay. Let me see. Let me try to help. Oh, she got it figured out. Thank you. Well, thank y'all so much for coming for that. I appreciate that. Look, I am so tired though of the fact that when it's drama, numbers are crazy, but because when it's something has to do with someone's life. But I do appreciate that she stuck around. She said she didn't care how much the views were. She just wanted to get some more attention brought to it. And this is a different platform for what she does. So maybe it'll help some. Like I said, I have all of the documents. There's 52 of them. And so if anybody wants it, send me an Instagram with your IG and I'll send it to you. Well, let me see. Like I said, even this whole thing, the woman keeps saying that the person knew what the house looked like, where she was going to be, where the safe was, where the key was to the shop. And the guy says only a few people knew. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, everybody knew. So it's just, a lot of it just doesn't make sense that everything changed. And then the woman said, oh, the mouth was covered. But the man said, nope, the mouth wasn't covered. I heard perfectly fine. That voice was my nephew's. So I don't know. I don't know. Yes, Maisie, please rewatch. Please rewatch. If y'all have any questions, hey, backwards man, thank you. I'm glad you're listening too. I guess that's it. That's it for this one. Very rarely will you find truth in articles. Well, I know that they lied on my situation, but then again, in court, they had to present me at one way until the sentencing phase. So I'd like to do my own research. I've been pulling up a few articles I've found, but yes, I would love to. Yeah, I will send you the transcripts. Like I said, which I'm more intrigued in this interview to see what they're hearing about Jim Bailey, to be honest. I know. Yeah, send me a message. I'll send them your way. And then please give them to other creators that you think can help with this. And as far as what was going on in the chat, y'all, I was trying to not bring attention to anything with people not getting along or anything outside of this, or people just want to be messy, because that's not what this was about. This was about this situation. And I didn't want anything to interfere with that. I do wish everybody could have stayed, though. Thank you, Star. Well, I'm going to go live again. I'm going live right now after this to cover the latest that Jen did, because I heard it's really, really bad. So I will see y'all live in just a minute if you want to. Yep, on to the next. No, you said just kidding, but it's serious. Yeah. I know. I don't know what happened. I don't even know what happened. Like Selena's rarely comes. So I really wanted her to be able to stay. Like I said, I do. Y'all know I do. My preference is Indigenous, but she said she's okay with Native American. So it's just one of those things that we all know. I don't know. I don't know. Absolutely, Maisie Blue. Absolutely. But when it's something outside of that, nothing. You know what I mean? But we had enough people in here. People can. We're doing a marathon tonight. You bet your ass. Who was the a-hole to my? No comment. I don't think anybody was an a-hole. I think it was a misunderstanding. But do you see, like, that man is handsome. Poor, like, bless his heart that he has no mother, no father, and he was an easy target. He was just an easy target. Can I be annoying and ask why Native American is insulting? So it depends on the person. So I would prefer, like, y'all know I'm part Cherokee. Still got to get, everybody's like, ask for the papers. I don't need the papers. I'm not asking for anything. So whatever. Indigenous is a preferred version. Some people don't like Native American because it's a reminder of what was done to them. because the government gave the name Native American. Some people are fine with Indian, some people are not. Some people are fine with, like, there's a whole, it just depends on the person. Hey, Zeus, I'm not going to be able to bring you up right now because I'm about to go live again. Yeah, I don't think anybody meant harm, but I think it just really got out of control. The person was insisting on using Indian, not Native. Yeah, I would prefer normally Indian meats from India, but then again, it's everybody's preference. I prefer in the chat we say Indigenous. Because, like I said, Native American reminds people of the government gave that name and what they put the ancestors through. She insulted you. Oh, see, I missed it. I was trying not to pay attention to it to get distracted. Okay, I'm going to see y'all over there. Wasn't she beautiful, though? That girl is so beautiful. They are a stunning couple. All right, I'm going to meet y'all over there on the next one. It's going to be within 5 minutes. Yes. I know, guys. I'm sorry. I've commonly said American Indian, but no, now I love it. Yeah, no problem. I'm confused as when the Census Bureau provides the U.S. demographics, they have Native American. What do you mean? Like I said, it's just most people prefer to go by Indigenous because of what it stands for and would be called Native American. No, she's not a troll. It's someone that's normally here, that's really nice, that normally doesn't have any issues. I think it was just because it hit close to home to her, maybe, that things got, I don't know. I know Shanoa is absolutely stunning. Please reiterate that in this channel we say Indigenous, First People, and that if someone has expressed discomfort with Indian, please stop using it. Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, Snooks hasn't been here for a minute. Maybe she didn't hear when we talked about that in the past. But yes, I prefer Indigenous, First Nation. First Nations for Canada, Indigenous for the United States. Just, if you please just say that, because if anytime someone does say Indian, I get heat for it no matter what. Whether I correct it or not, I get heat for it. And there's like, that's just not cool. Shenandoah in concert and sang with her once. You sang with her. That sounds amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get going, y'all. Thank y'all for all this. I'm going to see y'all. Just hop on over. Look for my community tab. I'm about to post it right now. The next live we're going to do. Okay, guys? All right. See y'all in a minute. Bye.
If I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored again?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I